sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm guessing they are sisters, right?
Yes.
Oh, they're back, okay. Thank you for the invitation to join you in this very nice place, Al-Asr Center. It's my first time in Melbourne, and inshallah it becomes a place where you will all associate your faith and your religion, and you will always connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a place where, especially for our youngsters, they will have an identity, they will share an identity. I believe when I was young, I remember when I was young, I used to definitely associate myself with my center. And I look forward to coming to the center when it's Saturday, when it's Sunday, to spend the time with my friends, to listen to the lecture. And it definitely is an identity. So I definitely encourage my especially younger brothers and sisters to continuously attend the center, inshallah. My brothers and sisters, today, inshallah, we're going to talk about a particular topic that is important, not just for the women, but also for men. Yes? And the reason why we talk about this is because we are going through the days of Ashura, the days of Muharram, and Imam Al-Hussein alayhi salam, he sacrificed for you and I to be here today. If it wasn't for the sacrifice of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, then you and I will not be here today. You and I will not be in Melbourne, will not commemorate the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. So what we need to do during these days of Muharram is we need to renew our allegiance to Abu Abdullah. We need to say that we will always follow your path, we will always renew our allegiance and have fully follow your the way that you have committed to Islam, the way that you have given your life, you sacrifice for Islam. And for me as a mu'min, as someone who follows the school of Ahlul Bayt, this has to be my goal. When it comes to Muharram, I renew this allegiance. Yes? What does it mean when I renew my allegiance? It means that every single drop of when I cry for Imam al-Hussein means that I will sacrifice for him whatever it takes at that particular time, because he gave his life and his family for my sake. What does it mean? It means that when I see munkar, when I see something that is bad, I have to change it, because Hussein ibn Ali changed it. When I see someone having bad akhlaq, I have to tell them this is bad akhlaq. But most importantly, these drops that we shed yesterday and the day before and all during Ashura, every single drop is a promise to Abu Abdullah. That this drop is a promise that I will change myself. I will change within. Yes? It is no point, my brothers and sisters, that we come every single Muharram, we cry for Imam al-Hussein, we lament, we do martyrdom, but I still go back home and I fight with my wife. Or the wife still fights with the husband. Treat my people don't know kids properly. I still don't have the good akhlaq in the community. Still the youngsters speak badly with their parents. Yes? This is not what Hussein died for. Okay? So it's not enough for us to come and just mourn for Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein wants us to go back and change our lives for the better. He wants us to be Husseinis. Yes, my younger brothers and sisters, he wants us to be Husseinis. What does it mean to be a Husseini? It means that I am the one, inshaAllah, where Imam al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, he will be the one who will choose me. And I am the Husseini. I am the one who follows the path of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So therefore I want to be the soldier of Imam al-Mahdi. So in every single Muharram, what we have to do is we have to choose at least one thing that I will improve in my life. Trust me, my brothers and sisters, you will not be one of those soldiers of Imam Mahdi if we continue being the same people we are every single year. Life is difficult. We all go through calamities. We all go through problems in our lives. Yes? But this is the whole point of the sacrifice of Abu Abdullah, the sacrifice of his family, the sacrifice of Zainab alayhi salam is for us all to do what? To give whatever we can, to change within, to change my akhlaq, to change my family, to change my society, to change my nation, in whatever way it takes, right? Whatever permissible way it takes. The hadith says that the way to do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi Anil Munkar, and by the way, this was the mission of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. He says, I have come about so I can change the people. How are you going to do that? Oh, Abu Abdullah, I'm going to do that through enjoining good and forbidding evil. Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi Anil Munkar. I'm going to take people back to the time of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I want the people to go to the path of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Not the path of Muawiyah, not the path of Abu Sufyan, not the path of Yazid. Trust me, my brothers and sisters, if it wasn't for Abu Abdullah, we'll all be Daeshis by now. We'll all be Wahhabis. Right? Because that was the path of Yazid. I am from Iraq and I know. We know the Daeshis very well. They are the people of Bani Umayyah. We have Bani Umayyah at our time. We have Karbala at our time. You think it's finished? You think 1,400 years ago is done? No, it's not. We still have it today. Go to Iraq and you see it. You see those people who say Yazid and they praise Yazid. Yes? And they praise Muawiyah. They praise all the Bani Umayyah. There's still people out there who do this. And they curse Abu Abdullah. And they curse our Ahlul Bayt. Some of them. Right? This is the part that, this is the mentality that we are facing. What is my role? As a Husseini, what is my role? Just for me to cry and lament? No. For me, I should cry. I should lament for Imam al-Hussein. But also I should get up and do something for Imam al-Hussein. And if I can't do anything, the hadith says, if you can't do anything with your hand, and by the way, I believe the hand part, yes, is what? Before it used to be people who used to take swords and go and fight in battles. Now the time is gone for us. We don't take swords and battle for us. Our time, the time is the keyboard. Our time is the phone, where I can play in social media a role that I can defend Imam al-Hussein. Now, the time of Ashura, our opponents, what do? They come and say, yes, Ashura, we should all fast. There's no point for us to, what is Hussein? They don't even mention Imam al-Hussein. They try to what? Make it less significant. What is my role? I'm a Husseini. I can't just come and do nothing. I have to go there and give the right information that this is Imam al-Hussein. Yes? And as the hadith says, if you can't do with your hand, then do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy Anil Munkar with your lips. The lips. Yeah? If you can't do it with your hand, do it. You speak about it. But speak in a polite way. Show the akhlaq of Hussein ibn Ali. Show the akhlaq of Zainab alayhi salam. Show the akhlaq of their parents, Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatima al-Zahra, and ultimately Rasul sallallahu. This is the path of Rasul sallallahu. This is the Ahlul Bayt of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I have to, when I go to school, my younger brothers and sisters, when I go to school, I show my akhlaq. If someone comes and annoys me and insults me with a bad word, I say what? I say, I'm not going to insult you the way you have insulted me, because this is my akhlaq, and my akhlaq is the akhlaq of Rasul and his Ahlul Bayt. Yes? If I am at work and someone tries to put me into a situation where I get angry, no, I have to take deep breaths and I have to try to calm myself down, because I am the follower of Ahlul Bayt. This is what Hussein fought for. Hussein fought for all of us to be his representatives on this earth. We are his representatives on his earth. If we are Husseini. If we don't want to be Husseini, we can be like other people. But if we are Husseinis, and if we are the people who want to be the soldiers of Al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, then we have to do something about it. Trust me, my brothers and sisters. You probably all know this, but I am here just to give you a reminder. That don't let Muharram pass by without you changing anything. It's wrong. We have to change at least one thing. And there's no one here is perfect. No one here is perfect. Yeah? But we have to change one thing. At least one thing. How is your relationship with the Quran? How is your relationship with the Salah? Do you concentrate in your Salah? Do you have khushu' in your Salah? Or when you say Allahu Akbar, your mind goes completely somewhere else. Completely somewhere else. An influx of thoughts start entering your mind. Are you a real Husseini then? Because this is not what Imam Hussein died for. How is my relationship with my wife? Oh husband, how is your relationship with your wife? The wife, how is your relationship with your husband? These are very important points that if we are truly the followers of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, then we have to contemplate on these. Yes? So don't let these days pass by and you're exactly the same as you were in last Muharram 2017. And the next Muharram comes 2019, you're an even better person. Only then you will become a Husseini. Only then you will be the true follower of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Otherwise we are not followers of Imam Hussein. Today inshallah, with your permission, we will be talking about a subject that not a lot of people talk about because it's sensitive. And I will share with you my views and my research on the issue of hijab. But before I do this, I would like to ask you a question. When I mention the word hijab, and this is one of the things that I have chosen for you today, so that we can all change, so that we do become Husseinis, yes? And I am speaking, and I can see only men and boys here. And someone will say, why are you talking about the subject of hijab in front of those people? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started to talk about hijab for men before the hijab for women. How many people actually contemplate on this? What is the hijab for men? When I ask you, when I talk about hijab, the first thing someone will think about is hijab for women, right? Yes? No? Anyone alive? Sallu ala Muhammad wa alihi. You see, the thing is, I've been in the last 10 days, every single night, going out, lectures, planes. I've got my Aries blog. You guys have been chilling, nothing. So you have to help me, inshallah. I want you.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad buland tar salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So this is the thing. When I go out in the media and I speak about hijab, they quickly will think what? They think about women hijab, yes? Yes, and by the way, I want you to talk to me. I don't want just me talking. When I ask a question, this is not hopefully a formal lecture. I like it to be interactive as much as possible. Okay. So, when we talk about the hijab, we usually associate that with women, yes. But when we go back to the Quran, the word hijab is actually misused in our literature. Because al-hijab actually means cover, or actually means a screen. So, if there were sisters on the other side, and we put like a screen in between us, the men, and the sisters, we say, yes, this is the hijab between us and the sisters. Yeah? That's a cover, right? But the real word, the term, is not appropriately used for covering and of the women in terms of hijab and the men as well. Actual word that should be used and is used is called sitr. Yes? Let me give you an example in the Quran. In the Quran, in chapter 19, verse 17, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He's speaking about Maryam alayhi salam, He says, فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِن دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. Right? When Maryam alayhi salam, she went out and He said, don't speak to people. He says that, so she took a veil. Basically hijab, not the hijab that she wore, but actually a veil that she's not speaking to people anymore. She's not communicating with people, right? So she has a veil. It's a metaphoric statement, yes? فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِن دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. But the meaning of that is not the hijab that she wore, yes? But it has been through the different generations. People have started to use the word hijab, so that's why jurisprudentially they've taken that on board. But the real word, if you want to talk about the hijab that you know, you and I know, is actually sitr. Yes? It's actually sitr, which means the covering of the self. وَحَدْ يَسْتُرْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ. Yes? So that do not attract the opposite gender. So that's the definition of hijab. But what I want us to discuss today is the concept of hijab is equal exactly for men and women. There is no difference at all. When I talk about the concept of hijab, yes? What is the concept of hijab? It's forbidding men and women equally, yes, from being subjects to their opposite gender's desires. So I have to do whatever it takes as a man, to cover myself so that I am not attractive to the woman. And the woman, the same thing. The woman has to cover herself to the extent that she is not attractive to who? To the men. Alhamdulillah, you're a bit awake. If we go back to the Quran, my brothers and sisters, chapter 24, verse 30, and this is an extraordinary 2 verses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in both verses 30 and verses 31, yes? He says exactly the same. He repeats exactly the same words for the men and for the women. But who does he start with when he talks about the hijab or the sitr of the man or the woman? Yes? He starts with the man. He says, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Who are the mu'mineen? The women or the men? The men. قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُم. Tell those mu'mineen, the men amongst you, you and I, yes? Yes? يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Lower your gaze, وَاحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُم, and cover their private parts. ذَلِكَ أَزْكَى لَهُمْ. This is purer for them. Yes? And then he goes to the next verse, the next very verse. And he says, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. Now is the woman. وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ. Remember the first one was وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضْنَ. يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. The second one says وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ. It's exactly the same, but in Arabic language is when you address a female is different when you address a man. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the same exact statements for both men and women. What does that tell you? That means that the concept of hijab is the same for women and men. Yes? So he's saying for the man and the woman, what you should do, you should lower your gaze and cover your private parts. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then, for the women, he goes further into details. And we'll go into that later. Why? Is because how do we, as society, as custom, as urf, define what is attractive and what is not? Yes? So, there was a study, when I was researching this, I wanted to know, are there actual studies that says, what do the women find in a man attractive? And the results of that means that we men we have to try to cover. Yes? Because this is what the saying is saying, the man has to have this hijab. There are 2 things that the man should do, and there are 2 things that the woman should do. The man has two responsibilities and the woman has two responsibilities. The man has a responsibility to lower his gaze and also to have this hijab. Yes, cover the private parts and also wear things that doesn't attract the opposite gender. The woman has exactly the same responsibility. She has to also lower her gaze. We don't talk about the woman lowering her gaze in front of men. She has to lower her gaze. Allah says, not me. Well, also, she has to wear the appropriate clothing so that the man is not attracted to her. It's exactly the same thing. Two things for the men, two things for the women. Lower your gaze and cover yourself. Lower your gaze and cover yourself. Now the details of covering themselves is different. Because why? Because women, no one can doubt this. Women are more attractive than men. Yes? So therefore the women have to be, they cover themselves more than the man. Yes? I know some men think they are more attractive, but good luck with that. So according to a study published in Evolutionary Psychology, if you refer to volume 15, issue 1, women direct their visual attention towards specific areas of men's body when assessing attractiveness. You know, we've got to go and find out what is it custom these days, right? And it's always been this. In particular, researchers found that women direct most of their visual attention to the upper part of a man's body. The upper part of a man's body. That's what really attracts women to men. Now I ask those individuals who post on Facebook, all these muscles, that close, very tight shirts, yeah? What's going on there? When I was giving this lecture in Sydney, there was an individual who had that, who was wearing that, and he came to me and said, "Sheikh, what have you done? He can't go back to the gym now and show off his muscles." And so I said, "No, you can go to the gym, it's fine. I'm not against people going to the gym. But what you have to do is your intention, if your intention when you wear this tight clothes is to attract the opposite gender, then this is haram." You don't believe me? Let's go back to Sayyid Sistani. In point number 2442 in his Masail, go back to Sayyid Sistani, His Eminence Sayyid Sistani. He says, "It is haram for a man to look at the body or hair of a non-mahram woman." We all know this. However, he says, similarly, it is haram for a woman to look at the body of a non-mahram man, except places which are customary not covered, like his face, hands, head, neck, and feet. This is the man, yeah? But the chest is attractive to a woman. If I wear tight clothes, and if that's attractive to women, then what's going on, oh men? Yeah? Let's not just always pick on women about hijab. This is the problem. We sometimes, when we talk about hijab, we just pick on women. Why did you see this woman? She has really bad hijab. Why is X, Y, and Z? What about you? What's going on with you here? Yes? Do we actually, when I go to the beach, do I take my shirt off? Yes, that's a yes. When I go to the beach, do I take my shirt off? What about swimming? I ask certain people when they go to swimming in London, they go to swimming mixed. Yeah? Where in the Sharia we have it's allowed to go mixed. And I say, "Brother, it's haram you go mixed with women." He said, "Oh, I'm not looking." So what are you not looking? How are you not looking? How can you swim without looking? I said, "No, I go early in the morning, don't worry, the only old ladies come." Seriously, only old ladies. That doesn't in the Sharia say it's okay to look at an old lady. There's no thing in the Sharia. It says, no, you can't go in a mixed swimming pool. And okay, my brother, okay, now you yourself, you're a marji', mashallah, you said it's halal. Okay, fine. But do you reveal your upper parts when you go and swim with the women? And very tight shorts, perhaps? This is not hijab of a man. Let's focus on these things. The hijab of a man is vital, my brother. Contemplate on this. Think of this, because some of us are doing haram, I will tell you this. When we go to the beach outside and there are foreign non-mahram women, I take off my beach and go inside and swim and come out. This is not the mu'min. And inshallah in a bit, we'll go into the reasons why we have to wear hijab. Yes? But let me just touch upon the issue of the hijab for women. As I'm talking about the dress for the man, now let me pick on the women. We ask the same question. What does the man find in a woman attractive? The same exactly. You see what I'm getting at now? I'm doing exactly equal, right? I've asked the same question for a man, I asked the same question for a woman. I'm doing exactly the same thing, yes? And that's why I'm telling you the concept of hijab is exactly the same. We ask the question for the man, for the woman to find what is attractive in a woman. And the man, and there are studies that say, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I have the study, but I can't find it here. But there is a study that says that 80% of those surveyed, and there were a few thousand surveyed, that of men found that the hair of the woman is the most attractive thing in her. Yeah? And we all know, I mean, we don't need a study that tells us, yes, the hair of a woman is quite attractive in a woman. Okay, so women, you must cover your hair. You see, remember this equality thing? The man, what do you find in him? And I don't think women find man's hair attractive, do they? I mean, some of us are bald, for goodness sake. You know, we just don't have even hair. So how can the man's hair be attractive, right? But of course, the woman's hair is attractive. Yes? And so therefore, the woman must cover the hair. What else is attractive? All her body is attractive to a man. Yes? Then they must cover. This is what the equality is all about. Yes? When you look at both parts, whatever in a man is attractive to a woman, then he must cover. Whatever is attractive to a woman in a man, or the other way around, they must cover. Yes? So what I've done, my brothers and sisters, and I don't want to take much of your time, I'm not sure how much I have. Where are the leaders? 1 hour from now. Because trust me, I can talk for an hour. This is what we do best. We speak a lot. So I've done a survey quite a few months ago, and I wanted to speak to our sisters, because a lot of them say, you don't consult us, you don't even know what we go through. We go through so much. We go through abuse, some of them say. Some of them say we go through, in the summer it's very hot. It's okay for you men, you wear short sleeves. Some people take off completely, right? The men. But for us, we have to wear hijab, and it's very hot. It's not fair. And some of them are taking off their hijab. Yes, some of them are taking off their hijab. Especially the younger ones, they say, we don't understand. My friends are not wearing hijab, so why should I wear the hijab? This is all important questions that we have to address. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to hear their side of the story. So what I did was I did a survey, and I got I got 807 responses, which was a huge amount of response, and so many different comments. It just showed that they needed to be heard. So what I'm going to do, inshallah, for the remainder of the talk, is go through certain aspects, questions that they have asked, and inshallah we'll try to answer these questions. Before that, I want to give you some of the comments I got from those who did wear hijab. Right? So it's for those who did and did not wear hijab. So for those who did wear hijab, they were very proud. Some of them gave comments, and I've chosen a few. One of them said, I'm a follower of Ahl al-Bayt. I feel safe and protected. It symbolized dignity and modesty. I love wearing it. Which is good to hear. Someone said, I love my hijab. I'm living in USA and I feel that it is the way I do tabligh for Islam. Yes? One of them said, very interestingly, I wasn't a hijabi before. I really don't like that word. It's a fabricated word. But you know what that means. It means the woman who wears the hijab. I was stuck with the fact, I was struck with the fact that if we weep over Zainab alayhi salam and Zahra alayhi salam because of the calamities they faced, then we should also know the reason. And by the light of Allah, it's been 4 years of me, I've been wearing hijab. So Zainab alayhi salam and Zahra, Fatima al-Zahra, they connected with her, right? And they actually protected the concept of hijab. Yes? So this particular lady, she was very attached to that. One of them said, it's part of my identity, which we will cover in a bit. One of them said, it's a way to take control over my body and tell people it is my own and only to show what I want to show. And one of them said, to please Allah. But I think the best one out of all this, and one of the sisters from Australia, she said this, and this is, I think is probably the best comment, right? She says the following, and she's a convert. She says, I love my hijab and chose to wear it, although I was asked not to wear it when I converted. So when she converted, someone told her, don't wear it. But now she says, I would rather leave Australia than remove my hijab. What sort of faith is that? You know, she has so much amazing faith that if the Australian government tells her you have to remove your hijab or you leave, and she'll say, I'll leave. My question is to all of us here, and specifically for our sisters, would you do the same? See, that is faith. This is conviction that hijab is there for me, to protect me. And that is it. It's there to protect me. It's to protect my identity. Yes? And even if I am facing oppression, I will not take it off because of the oppression I'm facing. In fact, I will leave that place. But at the end of the day, I will stand firm and continue wearing the hijab. This is faith. Now, I'm going to go through certain statements for those who do not wear the hijab. They have said certain things, yes? And I'm going to discuss these issues with your permission, inshallah. The first statement, it says that hijab is not written in the Quran. It's not wajib, hijab. Okay? I'm going to go through 3 verses of the Quran. And I hope that, inshallah, our sisters will note these verses down. Even our brothers will note these verses down. Because you need to, you know, if someone asks you at work, why is hijab, is you oppressing women? You know, you give them these evidences. Yes? The first one is in chapter 24, verse 60. Yeah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالْقَوَاعِدُ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ اللَّاتِي لَا يَرْجُونَ نِكَاحًا. Who are the qawa'id? These are the elderly women. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the elderly women amongst you, those that can't get married anymore, or they don't want to get married anymore. Yes? لا يرجون نكاحا فليس عليهن جناح أن يضعن ثيابهن غير متبرجات بزينة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they don't really need to wear that hijab that others wear. Okay, just let them take it easy. Yes? So the stuff that they wear, because they're old in age, yes? They don't really need to cover all their hair perhaps. They don't really need to wear, all the hijab. Let them take it easy. This is Allah saying in the Quran. Yes? What does that tell you? That tells you, number one, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a view on hijab. Otherwise, He wouldn't have said, okay, look, for the elders, let them take it easy with hijab. Because what? The others, they have hijab. Yes? We've got to contemplate on the Quran. Why would He otherwise say, let the elders take it easy otherwise? Yes? So He says, let the elders take it easy with hijab. That's number one. Number two is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if those elders, for them to take it easy, that means the others, should not take it easy. Otherwise He would have said, everyone take it easy with hijab. We have these days some of our sisters who don't wear the so-called proper hijab. They show their hair, they wear tight clothes. I'm not here to tell them what to wear, right? But I want them to think about this. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, only for those elders who don't want to get married or can't get married anymore, let them take it easy. And number three, Why has Allah said those people who don't want to get married? You see, the thing is that this is what it is. It's all about attraction. Allah wants to protect you, O man. He wants to protect you, O woman. Yes? Against the eyes of the opposite gender. You have a responsibility to lower your gaze, but not everyone lowers their gaze. And the woman has a responsibility to lower her gaze, but they don't always lower it. But it's your duty also to dress well, so that those people who don't lower their gaze, you become, you don't let their hearts get sort of attracted to your attractiveness. Yes? So it works on both sides. So this is the first verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about وَالْقَوَاعِدُ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ, and that's chapter 24, verse 60. The next one is the one we talked about earlier, chapter 24, verse 31. وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ وَلَا يُبْدِينَ زِينَتَهُنَّ إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا. Do not show your zina, yes, to everyone. And what he says, this is the most important one. He says, وَلْيَضْرِبْنَ بِخُمُرِهِنَّ عَلَى جُيُوبِهِنَّ. What is بِخُمُرِهِنَّ? What does the word khamr mean? Khamr.
Drink, wine.
Wine, yes. Khamr. So why is this so important? Why is it referred to here in the hijab? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the al-khimar in Arabic means the head veil. Yes, al-khimar. So in the olden times, they all used to wear the al-khimar. A lot of them used to wear khimar, yes? There's no doubt about that. No one comes and tells you, no, there's another definition. Al-khimar is where you cover your head. But what did they used to do before? I'll come back to the wine thing. What did they used to do before is they used to cover their heads, but not their bosoms. Yes? So it refers in the Quran, it says that tell those people to cover their bosoms using their khimar. Now you ask this question, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have said, just cover your bosoms. Why did he mention bikhumurihin? Because he's saying that I know you are wearing the veil, and that is right, but I want you to use the veil, the bikhumurihin, to cover your bosoms. Yes? وَلْيَضْرِبْنَ, so that you put your khimar over your ala jiyubihin. Jiyubihin is the bosoms. Yes? Now why is it called khimar? It's because alcohol, it veils the intellect. Yes? And this is the veil thing. It's called the khimar because it's al-khamr, because it veils your what? It veils your intellect. And that's what's called al-khamr. But al-khimar is the veil on the head. Is that clear? Or not? I think we need a salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So that's verse number 2. I have to go through these quite quickly because of time. And the last one is chapter 33, verse 59. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuhan nabi, قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن. O Prophet, say to your wives and the daughters and your daughters and the women of the believers, so everyone basically, yes, that they let down upon their overgarments. This will be more proper. So this is jalabibi. You know the jalabiyya? Have you heard of the jalabiyya? You have in India, Pakistan, jalabi.
The chadar. You said chadar.
Oh, the chadar, yes, the chadar of jalabis. Yes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, I don't know if it's the chadar, perhaps it's the different cultures.
Abaya.
Perhaps so, perhaps so. But this is in Arabic it's called the jalabiya, which is from top to bottom. Yes?
Yeah.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says they should wear that jalabiya so that they don't show the sort of the body, so to speak. Yes? So that's another verse. So these are 3 quick verses that indicate from the Quran, for those individuals who say hijab is not written in the Quran, these 3 indicate that it is, and it's obligatory on the man and the woman to wear hijab. Yes? That's statement number one. Statement number two. One of the sisters said the following: you can still be a modest and respectful and a good Muslim without wearing a piece of cloth to cover your head. Why do you need to cover your head? You can be so modest. Because if hijab is all about modesty, I don't need to wear the hijab. I don't need to cover my head. Now, this is quite a lot of our sisters say this. You see, the thing is, my brothers and sisters, is that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to do something, it's not a matter of my opinion. Because of me, I don't want to do this, but I want to do some other things. I'll choose what to do in Islam and I'll leave the others. Because, and especially this is a message for my younger brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He gives you the command, this is for your own good, for your own protection. It is for you, and for your own good, and for society. What is important is that what is the difference between Islam and the other religions? Is that every religion talks about your connection with Allah, your connection with God. But Islam is different. It says, yes, your connection with God and your connection with the community and your connection with society. I'll give you examples. For example, ghiba, backbiting, right? Why would backbiting be so, if I talk about, maybe a lot of you will go back home and say, what a rubbish lecture. That's backbiting on me. Come and say it to my face. Yeah? So, or someone will say, oh look, this and that. If you say it behind someone's back, that's haram. Why? Because Allah wants to protect society, wants to protect community. Yes, there are certain things that He will protect you, but there are certain things that you might not understand, you have to do, like al-ghiba, you must not do ghiba, because He's protecting the society. He's protecting the community. Yeah? Do you understand my point? So therefore, when it comes to the issue of hijab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting the community. Maybe you believe that it's not right for you. Maybe you're okay, you're wearing modest. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, I want you to wear it because others will find you attractive. Your head will find you attractive. And I want to protect the community. Let me give you an example. And I want you to answer this question for me. Why has the government in Australia said that you must wear a seatbelt in your car?
Safety.
Don't tell me safety. Why would it care? If you want to go and kill yourself and you say, okay, I don't want to wear a seatbelt. Okay? If you're going to have an accident, you're going to have an accident whether you wear a seatbelt or not. You're going to have an accident. But you're going to harm yourself. Why would the government care if you harm yourself or not? Why?
This is a law, enforcement of law.
It's law.
Yeah.
But why would the government care? Why just let everyone kill themselves? It doesn't matter for them because it's not about you're going to kill someone else in a car accident or injure them anyway if you wear a seatbelt or not. As the seatbelt is to protect you and only you. But why would the government care? Sorry?
Because you're paying tax.
You see, the thing is, my brothers and sisters, if everyone was not to wear seatbelts, a lot of people who have accidents will die. And that will affect the community. That will affect the society. The government will say, what's going on? Everyone's dying. Right? So the government doesn't think just about you as an individual. It thinks about the community. It thinks about the society. And this is the command of Allah. It's law, right? So one of the sisters or one of the brothers can come and say, well, honestly, I'm okay. I'm a really good driver. I don't want to wear my seatbelt. But no, the government of Australia says, no, you have to wear a seatbelt. Say, what's the point? I'm okay. I'm a good driver. No, you have to wear a seatbelt. Just listen to me. You have to wear a seatbelt. It's the same thing with hijab. You say, well, I'm so modest. Why do I have to wear the hijab? Allah says, no, you have to. Trust me. I am Allah. I have much deeper knowledge than you do. You've got to trust me in this. Yes, right. So a lot of people don't have this trust in Allah. They'll think certain things about their religion. But Allah is saying, I want you to trust me on this. One other thing about this issue, to answer this question about modesty, right, and not wearing the hijab. Why do certain people are so patriotic that they go and kiss a flag? Have you seen people who they go and kiss their flag? Have you seen people take their own flag? I mean, would you take the Australian flag, put it on the floor and step on it? It's just a cloth. It's just a cloth. But why wouldn't you do that? I'm an Iraqi. I will not take the Iraqi flag and I will step on it. I will never do that. But it's just a cloth. She's saying, it's just a cloth. I'm putting a cloth on my head. Why? It's because that flag gives you what? Identity. It's your identity. It's still a piece of cloth. Who cares about it? It's still a piece of cloth. But it's your identity. The hijab is our identity. It's our identity. It's who we are. As men and women, specifically for our women. When you go out in society and you're wearing this, it's your identity, my sister. You've got to be proud of your identity. Yes? Yes. صلوا على محمد Statement number 3. How long do I have? Where's our chairman? How long? 10 minutes. Okay. 20 hours. It means you're enjoying the lecture. I'll make it bad. Trust me. Statement number 3. In the West, the hijab makes me stand out more. Some of the statements that they say that the hijab makes me stand out more than others. You see, I'll give another example of this. How many of our women buy, and some of the husbands know this because they use perhaps your credit card. Oh, that's a misconception. The women still work these days, so they use their own money as well, and I have full respect for that. How many have bought new handbags? Not you, I'm talking about the women. How many have bought new handbags? Right? They go and buy new handbags to the best of handbags so they can stand out. Have you seen those people to stand out? Why then, when it comes to hijab, you don't want to stand out? In fact, stand out in the best possible way. You, as we said, this is your identity. Stand out and be strong within your faith. That say this tells me that I am a Muslim. I am proud of being a Muslim. I am proud of being this cloth over my head. Yes, it's just a piece of cloth, but it's the command of Allah. It's so that Allah is protecting me. If I stand out, I stand out. Like anything else that people buy to stand out. Maybe when I wear this ring in London, I stand out. Maybe people tell me, what is this ring? But I know why I'm wearing this ring. It's not the issue. The intention is for me to stand out. That's the issue here. The intention isn't for me to stand out in public. Allah has commanded me to do this. So I've got to be strong. This morning I did a Q&A in Sydney, and one of the sisters got up and said, you know, when I pray at school, the headmaster, she's in an Islamic school, the principal is a Sunni and she's a Shia. The lady who's speaking to me, she's a Shia. And she says, whenever the principal comes, I quickly put my hand like this. And I say, oh, I'm scared of the principal. And I told her, stand firm for your principles. Be strong. Why do you have to go and explain to the principal, you are Shia and you believe this is your faith. If she's discriminating against you, go and complain about her. Be strong. Have this faith. And this is what to my younger brothers and sisters. Have Allah in your heart. Don't let others, because of other people's oppression, you change because of them, because then they have won, not you. If other people are oppressing us, I change because of them? No, Imam al-Hussein didn't do that. He didn't. When the Yazid, they sent him a letter, they said, do bay'ah. He could have easily done bay'ah. It's just a signature. Right? It's just a signature. He didn't do it. Because he has principles. He had the whole of Islam behind him. You are a Husseini. Oh sister, you're a Zainabiyya, you're a Fatimiyya. Right? Stand firm. Be proud of your faith. We need to be proud, my brothers and sisters of our faith. There's nothing we can hide. Let everyone come here, all the Australians, let the government come here. We don't say anything that is... In fact, they are the people who should come and hear from what we say. This is the Islam, this is the true Islam. We are proud of our religion, we're proud of our faith, and we're here to explain it. We're here to explain hijab. You believe that the women are oppressed because of their hijab? Go and speak to a lot of the women. They are not oppressed whatsoever. It's in fact there to protect them. But some people don't get it. And that's fine. We respect your point of view. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to take my hijab off because you say that, I stand out. Never. Statement number 4 says, if I were to observe the hijab and do so properly, it will become even less likely for me to get married. I saw quite a few of these in my comments. Or another one says, oh, my husband does not allow me. Now forgive me, oh husbands. And for those who are looking for only, maybe I'm going to say this and tomorrow I won't be invited back here. Zaki not here. So I can say it. This is a message to all the husbands who are telling their wives don't wear hijab. And this is a message to those men who are looking to get married but only want to get married to those people who don't wear hijab. Shame on you. Truly. And I say this to my sisters, whoever is saying these comments, right? Why would you be so shallow to find such a person? Because that individual is going against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the command of Allah. You are starting your marriage life in a very difficult place, right? This individual, the man is what? The man is stopping you or taking you away. It's like, for example, a man will come and say, okay, I will want to get married to you, but I don't want you to pray. Is that acceptable? Wouldn't that man be so shallow? The same thing for a woman. You want to get married to a woman says, okay, I'll get married to you, but I don't like fasting during Ramadan. It's very difficult. Let's not fast. You don't want, my sisters, this is a message for you don't want such men. Because they will corrupt the family. Right? You want to start off with following the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Statement number 5 says, I don't feel ready. Allah decides when you will be ready or not. Yes? The answer to this is very simple. Yes? When you say, I am not ready, I don't feel ready. Yes? It's exactly that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't wait for you to get ready and then He says, okay, now this is because Allah knows when and what is the appropriate time for Him to protect you. He wants to protect you. Yes? Oh my sister, oh brothers, the hijab is there to protect your heart from the evils and the diseases out there. Truly is. You got to think about this metaphorically. When the sister puts in her hijab, she's protecting her heart. She's doing sitr on her heart. Yes? That no evil can come and enter her heart. And oh man, when you are wearing this hijab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting your heart. Yes? If a sister is wearing hijab, you'll think twice whether she will go into a nightclub or somewhere that is not appropriate for Muslims. Yes? Because this particular place is not where Muslims will associate themselves with. Yes? So it makes you to think twice before you do something that is bad. It's protecting your heart. And the final one is I've been racially abused, and so therefore I don't want to wear the hijab. This is vital, I hear this quite a bit about Islamophobic attacks, right? Should we, I ask you this question, should we, because of certain cases that we are getting of Islamophobic attacks. Leave the racial abuse, I get to that. But you know, in Australia, in the UK, we have certain right-wing people who do Islamophobic attacks. Does that mean that we stop being Muslims? Yeah? Why don't we just stop being Muslims? Let's be all Christians because we're getting Islamophobic attacks. That doesn't mean that if I am being attacked, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Zainab alayhi salam, she was attacked several times after they were captives. Does that mean that she said, okay, you were right, you were victorious? She stood there and said, I saw nothing but beauty. When she was asked by bin Ziyad, what did you see? She said, I saw nothing but beauty. What does that beauty mean? She saw nothing but beauty, she saw all bloodshed in front of her. Is that beauty? It's different. The beauty that she saw was the continuation of Islam on the right path of Prophet, the path of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the beauty. So therefore, when I am oppressed, when I am wearing the hijab, yes, I have to go and do something about it. I lobby the government, I go and Twitter, do social media work so that I stop this oppression. Not because I'm getting this abuse and oppression, I take off my hijab. Okay, so others have won. Yes? The others who are Islamophobic, they've won. If I stop doing what my faith tells me to do. We need to reverse the equation. Oh sister, oh brother, if you are being oppressed, you stand firm against oppression. If you're a Husseini, because Imam al-Hussein stood against oppression. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam stood against injustice. And we've got to do that if we are the true followers of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And when we remember Zainab alayhi salam, and we remember this individual, this great individual, my brothers and sisters, and I want to dedicate these 2 nights, today and tomorrow, to this individual, Zainab alayhi salam, who was very patient during the Battle of Karbala. She was extremely patient. Remember, this individual who wore the best of hijabs, she followed the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She saw her own brother and her family being martyred right in front of her. She saw the son of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, Abdullah, being slaughtered. He was only 6 months old. She saw Ali al-Akbar, this beautiful individual who his face reminded people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His akhlaq reminded people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes? Being slaughtered right in front of her. She saw a Shimr sat down on Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, sat down on his chest and he beheaded him. How can a woman take this? How can anyone take this? And he's not just any individual. He was Abu Abdullah. And then she saw the people starting to take every part of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Chop off his legs. This individual who wanted his ring, he didn't take out his ring, he came and chopped his fingers. She saw all of these things right in front of her. This is what patience is. This is Zainab. My sisters, if you're going to be an individual who's going to follow the path of Ahlul Bayt, you have to follow this individual. We learn patience from this lady. This lady went through so much, and after the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, she was held captive. They were chained. They were thirsty. They were not given water. They were taken to bin Ziyad in Kufa first. And bin Ziyad and said to Zainab alayhi salam, he said, he wanted her to boast, to cry. He wanted to boast in front of her. He said, yes, I've killed your brother. Right? See what happened? What others will do, others will start weeping and say, please. No. She said, I saw nothing but beauty. Right? This is the iman of our Ahlul Bayt. I think about them. After she's gone through so much, Zainab alayhi salam, gone through so much, she still saw beauty. I will collapse with one death if I see it in front of me. I will collapse with one. She's gone through so much, but then she said, I saw nothing but beauty. After this long journey of going to Kufa and then to Syria, and then they went to Medina, narrations say. Before they went there, an individual in the name of Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, he was the brother of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and because he was ill, he couldn't join Abu Abdullah in Karbala. So in Mecca, when Abu Abdullah went to Karbala, or he was going towards Kufa, Muhammad ibn Hanafiya went back to Medina. And he was a very, very sick person, very, very ill. And suddenly one day, he was sitting down he was very frail. He was sitting down in his bed. He started to hear some chants outside. And he wanted to get up. And he called for his people. He said, what is going on? The people knew that there is news about Abu Abdullah Hussein. People of Medina didn't know what happened. Right? So there was an individual called Bishr. Right? Bishr was told by Imam Zayn al-Abidin while en route to Medina. He was a poet, Bishr. He was told by Imam Zayn al-Abidin to go to Medina and tell people about the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah. Because they took a rest. So this individual of Bishr, he went to Medina. And he started telling people. He told people, يا أهل يثرب لا مقام لكم بها قتل الحسين فأدمعي مدرار الجسم منه بكربلاء مضرج والرأس منه في القناة يدار. He says that يا أهل يثرب, O Medina, O the people of Medina, you don't know what has happened. There's a big tragedy has happened. And they told him, what is it? Oh Bishr. He said, قتل الحسين فأدمعي مدرارا. Hussein has been slaughtered. And he said, the jism of Abu Abdullah was left in Karbala. It's in Karbala. And then they put his head on a pole. And they took it around. And when people heard this, they started weeping. And Muhammad ibn Hanafiya started to hear people shouting and weeping. And he said, oh, please tell me. Tell me what has happened. His people came and told him, don't worry, Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. They didn't want to upset him much. They told him, don't worry. We heard Muslim ibn Aqil has died. He said, oh, Muslim ibn Aqil was a great man. But I am fearing there is something else here. And they told him, don't worry, just sit down, you're ill. He said, no. He went outside. He tried to take his horse, ride his horse, but then once he got up, he fell on the floor. And then he started to get up again. And then he tried again and he fell on the floor. And he said, I can feel it, there is something coming. There's a tragic news coming. And then he kept on hearing the roars of the people. And they managed to take him to the borders of Medina. And then he saw Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. And he said, oh uncle. And when he saw Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam, he knew Muhammad ibn Hanafiya fell on the floor. He couldn't take it anymore. He became unconscious because he knew what has happened to Abu Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam. Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam took his uncle and he put him on his lap. While he became unconscious, he tried to wake him up again. Zaynab alayhi salam saw Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. And so then she took all the children. She took all the children and said, come, O children, let's say salam to our uncle, to your uncle. And they told her, oh Zainab, is there still we have an uncle left? After all of them, they were murdered in Karbala, we still have an uncle? And she said, yes, there is only one uncle left, and that is Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. Come and say salam to him. So then, she came and sat down beside Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. Muhammad ibn Hanafiya became conscious again. And then he looked at this woman and he told Zayn al-Abidin, he said, oh Zayn al-Abidin, who is this woman who's sitting beside me? I feel uncomfortable, this lady is sitting beside me. I can't recognize this lady who's sitting beside me. Who is she? And he said, oh uncle, this is Zainab alayhi salam. This is Zainab. This is your sister Zainab. And he looked at her and he said, you are Zainab? You are Zainab al-Hashimiyya? What has happened to you? He couldn't recognize her because Zainab alayhi salam went through so much, her face changed. He said, this is Zainab, you are Zainab al-Hashimiyya? She said, yes, my uncle. Don't call me al-Hashimiyya, call me, I am Zainab al-Masbiyya. I am Zainab who has been held captive for all this time, and I've been going through tragedy after a tragedy after a tragedy. وَإِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ راجعون وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين وإنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. Please recite with me 10 times يا الله. Send your salams to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and raise your hands and supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A lot of people are in need of your dua. A lot of people are in need of your dua. So raise your hands and say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Oh Allah, for the sake of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad and Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, give us the opportunity to do ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Oh Allah, bihaqqi Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, forgive our sins, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, bihaqqi Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, help us to wear the appropriate hijab, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, bihaqqi Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, help those and lift the oppression, those individuals who are going through so much oppression all around the world. The people of Yemen, the people of Iraq, the people of Syria, the people of Palestine, the people of Pakistan, the people of Afghanistan and everywhere else who are facing so much oppression on a daily basis. Ya Allah, lift this oppression for the sake of Hussein ibn Ali. Oh Allah, for the sake of Hussein ibn Ali, bihaqq Hussein ibn Ali, Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam, Al-Imam Al-Hujjah, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif. صل على محمد. قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Brothers and sisters, we'll have matam for 5 minutes and then we'll have a Q&A session. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein.